What's up, guys? It's Adrian. I actually decided to make this video kind of sporadically. Stephan, one of my favorite YouTubers, just posted a video called Revealing My Actual Net Worth. The video itself is explaining how he's built himself into a multimillionaire from the ages of 18 all the way to 30, and is, in my opinion, one of the most inspiring videos that I've seen. So what I thought we could do for this video and today is actually compare my net worth and the progress of my net worth to his. So I'm only 24, so there's gonna be a 6-year age difference between us, but I think it's gonna be good to parallel what he went through and what I went through, coming from different backgrounds. So just to explain to you guys, once again, if you are subscribed to my channel, you probably know I'm one of 4 boys from a single mother. I grew up in poverty, and I'm spending every day working hard to get out of it. I would say I'm officially out of it right now. I'm a part of the middle class, and it's something that I think a lot of Americans could actually connect to, just in the sense of not being financially where they want to be in life. Stephan by no means was given anything, to be honest with you. Everything he's gotten, it has been through strictly hard work, putting himself in the right positions, and then working hard when you get in those positions. So if you like this video, or the thought of this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, but let's jump right into it. So he starts this video by grouping the ages of 15 to 17 together. He says his net worth is of $5,000. I'll cut a clip of that in there.
All right, so let's get the counter started over here. And by the time I was 17 years old, I had a net worth of maybe $5,000.
So I think this is a great example of the dichotomy of two different lives, right? So when growing up, I worked all the time. I was a referee almost all throughout high school. I worked at Smoothie King at certain points. I had a job all 4 years while I was in high school, and that was all throughout while playing high-level soccer. But for me, since I grew up with honestly dysfunctional parents, every dollar I made either went back to them, helped fix their mistakes, or it went to getting me to the bare minimum quality of life that honestly people should get. There was a lot of my personal money that went to power bills and water bills that my parents couldn't afford, and that way my brothers and I could have a respectable standard of living. So for me, ages 15 to 17, and I'm going to extend that through 18 until I went to college, my net worth was at $0. So here's a big fork in decisions of where Graham decided to take his life and where I decided to take my life. At the time of me being 18, I was really into biology, and I wanted to go to school, undergrad and then graduate school, to be a surgeon, probably in the trauma field. He, on the other hand, realized since he was making money in high school that he wanted to continue to make money as soon as possible. I liked making money, but I never actually got to save the money. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't end up taking the path he did. I never came across that feeling of being able to have money in a bank account, have money stashed away somewhere. So for me, at the age of 18, my net worth was $0. I went to college on a soccer scholarship, and it was some academics as well. At that time, I had a full ride for that freshman year, so I didn't pay any money to go to college my freshman year, and I also didn't have any debts. One thing I do want to talk about, my freshman year in college, I started a phone case company with one of my close friends. We called it Play-Doh, and it was my first experience of like entrepreneurship. I remember distinctly my freshman year, we had a contest, and it's basically a Shark Tank style contest at Wofford College, and we came in second place, and we ended up getting a few $1,000s to get our company going, and we had lawyer fees and everything paid for. So that was my first like taste of entrepreneurship. I remember falling in love with it. And that is the start of a seed that has grown to not only me getting my current job, but also this YouTube channel. So going into my sophomore year in college, the NCAA changed the rule to where you couldn't be both mixed with academic money and athletic money. So because my GPA was a 4.0, my college actually put me on a full academic scholarship. However, because they switched me to the academic, as the cost of college rose, I went to a private school, so it rose every single year. I couldn't just get more money like you could in athletic scholarships. So I started accruing some student loans. So when I was 19, my net worth was negative $2,000. That was the first amount of student loans I took out, and that's pretty much it for that year. So just to go ahead and pause and compare the difference between me and Stephan. So when I was at 19, because I started with $0 and I went to college, and my time was spent playing college soccer, my time was spent paying for college, my net worth couldn't actually grow. In fact, and because I had to take student loans out, I had to go negative. So we're sitting at negative $2,000. When Graham was 19, he's at $80,000 because he decided to go work, even though he wasn't making a lot of money his first 2 years. And my guess is he didn't have a lot of expenses, or maybe he was still living at home, because it seems like he was able to save that entire amount of his income, which is great if you can do it. But for me, and you'll notice later in the video, that's not an option for me because of the background that I came from. So my cost of living between the ages of 18 and 24 specifically is significantly higher than his, and he's already a cheap individual. But where you come from as an individual and where you come from as your background can dramatically affect your beginning stages of life. So here we go. At the age of 20, I just took on some more student loans. My net worth at the age of 20 was negative $4,000. So the reason for that negative $2,000 is to pay for the second semester of my sophomore year in college. Whereas Graham, on the other hand, is sitting at a net worth of $150,000. Now, I'm going to use this year to explain that a lot of times, especially when it comes to finances, there's a snowball effect. There's these small decisions that you make that compound together just like compound interest, and they become bigger and bigger and bigger. So the later you start that snowball effect, the bigger the gap between you versus the person that did that is going to be. So I'm actually a great example of I didn't start making money early. So at the age of 20, my net worth is a few $1,000s in the negative, where his net worth is $200,000 in the positive. Now, I'm not saying going to college is by far a bad decision, right? I think if you do it financially responsible, you're still going to be ahead of the average well-off American. And the reason I say that is not going to college, becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a real estate agent, that's just not for everybody. Some people are going to live a better and happier life if they go to college. And for a lot of people, they don't even understand what happiness is unless they go through those college experiences. So when I was 21, I actually had to pay for my junior year in college. So my net worth decreased to negative $7,000. But there are two things I want to talk about vitally for this year. The first one, as you can tell, my net worth is decreasing at a faster and faster rate. So my college was actually getting almost exponentially more expensive every single year. It was almost double as much more expensive than it was the year before. So I noticed that my junior year, I realized it was going to be an issue that I was going to have to climb out of later in life. But when you're a junior in college, you typically don't want to transfer because most of those credits won't switch over. You end up taking out more loans because you have to spend an extra year in college. So something I want to talk about that I did when I was 21 or started when I was 21 was I closed down my phone case company. It made a few $1,000s, and we took that money and put it into a clothing line. It was something I was more into at the time, and that was called Surrey Threads. That was honestly a life-changing experience. I loved building that clothing company from the ground up. And actually what we did with that was so impressive. Even though it wasn't profitable, it led to me getting my first job out of college. So the reason why I want to talk about this is even if you're in college, do something business orientated, even if it's not making you money, because you can turn that into opportunities that will exponentially grow and snowball into something bigger in life. So let's go to the year of 22, Taylor Swift. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. My net worth, drum roll please, was negative $28,000. So really took a hit that year. So let me explain why it increased so much. So like I said before, my college was getting more and more expensive, and there was a big jump between my junior and senior year. It actually caused a decent amount of ruckus across the community, but my total amount of college loans I had to take out happened to be now $16,000. So the other thing that was a big hit, I took over the responsibility of the car that my mother financed for me. It was actually a terrible loan, and the car itself was an $8,000 loan. I have a video explaining that nightmare. I'll link it or card it up there in the top corner. So we're at $24,000 now. There's $2,000 more. We took a loan out to get Surrey Threads started off the ground. There's a lot of production costs that go into making clothes, and we didn't sell as much as we needed to break even there. However, I don't really see this as a loss. Yes, it's a $2,000 loss, no doubt about that. But like I mentioned before, starting Surrey Threads actually was the only reason I got my job out of college. I decided my junior year, going to senior year, I didn't want to go to grad school. I wanted to start making money. This change in net worth was bothering me so much that I was like, hey, I need to start making money. I need to get myself in a better financial position. So here's something a lot of people don't understand. If all the money you make while you're a teenager and while you're in college goes to close the gap of the financial hole that your parents are making, then you're not going to be able to have any savings yourself. So my senior year, when I needed to pay for a security deposit on an apartment, or when I needed to buy furniture for my apartment, even though it's not nice at all, I had to take a loan out to pay for that. So that's another $2,000 loan that I took out my senior year, bringing my net worth for that year to negative $28,000. So let's compare myself to Graham. Leaving college when I was 22, I had a negative net worth of $28,000. And Graham, because he started working 4 years before me, now has a net worth of $320,000. So that just goes to show you that it is a snowball effect. And if you snowball into debt, it's going to become a bigger and bigger problem. But if you snowball into prosperity and opportunity, it's going to become a bigger and bigger blessing to you. So after I graduated college, I moved to Atlanta and then to Raleigh for my job. I was making $35,000, and I was working anywhere between 80 to 100 hours a week. And almost every single dollar that I had that didn't go to bills went to paying down this debt, because I absolutely hate debt. So I was able to get my car paid off. Once again, I have a video explaining that. I was able to pay back the Surrey Threads loan. I was able to pay back the loan I took out in order to move. So my net worth when I was 23, when everything was said and done, was negative $13,000. Now, it's still a negative number, to be honest with you, but what you'll see is it's a change of, $15,000, and I was only making $35,000 a year. So if you take away taxes and everything, that's pretty much every single dollar I had went to debt. Even though my net worth is a negative $13,000, about $3,000 of that was my 401k for that year after the company match. So I still owed about $17,000 in debts. And as you could guess, that $17,000 is pretty much my student loans plus interest. So right now I'm 24. Stephan, when he was 24, had a net worth of $440,000. As of today, my net worth stands at $9,310. It's something that I track and I want to make positive very, very quickly. So right now, as a 24-year-old, I make $72,000 as a base salary, but with bonuses and benefits built in, I'm honestly sitting right above six figures. And it feels good to say that because it shows that my hard work is paying off. And 2 years into working, I'm kind of mirroring what Graham is doing. So you may notice the change in my net worth between the ages of 22 to 23 is a big number. It's $15,000. And between the ages of 23 and 24, it's only dropped by roughly $3,500, $4,000. But the difference is I had to buy a car. So there's roughly, $13,000 built into that you're not seeing. And technically, I do have a positive net worth. I don't like counting the equity in my car as a part of my net worth because I will drive that car into the ground. I'm going to sell that car for $0 because I'm going to drive it to where it's not worth anything. But what I want to do is break down that full $9,310 and why it's negative. So in terms of positive assets, my 401k is sitting at $6,000 roughly, and I have just over $3,200 in savings. I typically keep my savings right at $1,000 and put everything else into debt. But because of the way the world is going and just because jobs are unsure all across the board, I want to start building up that savings. And once I feel secure that the economy recovered, I'm going to keep my job. I'm going to dump as much money as I can towards my student loans. So Graham, on the other hand, when he's 24, his net worth is over $500,000, which is incredibly impressive. And he should get nothing but applause for that. So that's really what I wanted to show in this video, is that your background can affect where your net worth is early on in life. Now, I don't want people to use this as an excuse. I'm not using it as an excuse at all. It's definitely a reason why I'm not a millionaire at the age of 24. However, it's not the reason I won't be a millionaire when I'm 34. By no means do I think Graham was bragging in his video whatsoever. I actually love the guy. I stand by everything, almost everything he says. But I also want people to understand that his situation is not everybody's situation. I think I made great decisions so far in my life along the way. I've seen great return on investment from those decisions. I just started at a significantly negative point compared to other people. The main thing I wanted to point out was if you are just trying to increase your net worth, and you have that as a central decision maker for where you're getting your next job, where you're dedicating your time, how you're spending your money, what are you purchasing, where are you getting your interest rates from. If the center of all of those decisions is increasing your net worth and becoming more financially stable, you're going to have a dramatic effect on your life, right? I don't want people to see Graham's video and get discouraged because they're not there. He's a great example of honestly perfection, right? He's a great example of what's possible. I'm a great example of, some of the inhibitions that life kind of can throw at you. Either way, both of us are progressing in a positive way, and that's what matters. So just keep that in mind. I hope you guys like this video. And remember, it may be hard now, but it doesn't always have to be. I'll see you in the next one.